Welcome to Precisely Nowhere. It is a special day today. We are watching Love Island. No, not Love Island. It's always on Love Island. Love is Blind, Mexico. This is a special guest interview two this month. I'm super excited to get
Same.
started. So, here to share their good vibes, love of TV and film, and a lot of good recs that are coming out later this year
Mm.
and catch us up on his life a bit. My boyfriend, the man behind the scenes of Precisely Nowhere, Marco,
Hope you're pumped.
aka Midnite Mind, is his DJ name, and we will get into that very soon. So, before we dive in, tell the listeners a little bit about you, where you grew up, where
Yeah.
you are now, whatever other details you want to share.
Thank you so much for having me. That is quite the intro. Really don't know how to follow that, but here we go. So happy to be here. Finally up front behind the mic, not behind the laptop. Yeah, I am from Illinois, from town Aurora, just an hour outside of Chicago. I DJ, love music, love movies, comic book nerd to the max. You know this. The
Yes.
listeners will soon know this.
And Aurora is such a cute little town. I love Aurora so much.
I remember when I first took you to Aurora to meet my parents. I wasn't nervous for you to meet my parents. I knew right away they were going to love you. You're just such an awesome person.
Thank you.
And I wasn't worried that you weren't going to like Aurora. I wasn't expecting anything. I just wanted your opinion of my hometown.
I love it. It's such a cute town. There's a lot of old architecture and it's very warm.
It's a town where everybody knows everybody in one way or another. Not that it's a small town, it's just that friendly.
Okay, I like that perspective.
Yeah.
I can't relate because I can't relate on the everybody knowing everybody
Well,
because I've visited a handful of times and I grew up in a bigger town. I always really resonated with movies and things where everyone knows everyone. I thought that was cool.
and it's coming up. It used to have like a rep, I guess, for being like a type of gang type town. Like, oh, you're from Aurora. Uh-oh. But, if you grew up in Aurora and you spoke to someone who isn't from there and their eyes widened as soon as you mentioned the name, like my response anyway was like, all right, it's not that bad.
Yeah, people love to be dramatic about everything, so I didn't get that vibe, but
Good.
well, okay, so you grew up in Aurora.
Hmm.
You lived in Aurora for many years.
Yeah.
I know you lived in Chicago for a bit.
Yeah, I worked out in Chicago. I didn't live in Chicago. I took the train into Chicago and I worked there and then went to school there.
Okay.
But I definitely took advantage when I was out there. Took you to many dates out there when we went to Chicago.
Yes, we
I,
did explore the city.
I remember one of our dates, I took you to this place called Untitled.
Yes.
Oh my God. My best friend recommended that place. So shout out to him. But it was funny because I did like recon work before I was taking you out there. And I think I told you the story. Like day before I went out there, day or week, I was
What
trying to,
time?
once upon a time, I was trying to find this place just to, okay, I'll park here. It'll take us this long to get there walking. If I can go in, check it out, okay, we can sit over there. That's a good view of the stage, and so on and so forth. But for the life of me, I could not find it. It was so frustrating. I was asking around some people, have you heard of this place? Untitled, nearby restaurants, some of the staff. When I did that, they pointed at an entrance that I kept passing, kept walking by, and it had no
It-
sign, no nothing, nobody standing outside, manning the door. And I asked them, like, it's called Untitled. And someone told me, yeah, listen to what you're saying.
yeah, it's a speakeasy, folks. It's a really cool speakeasy. I love you for doing all of that. Just hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. I didn't go in, it was closed, but I'm like, all right, at least I know where it is now. So when we
Yeah,
come out, I'm not lost. I
I
just wanted to come
appreciate
prepped.
you for prepping because that would have been quite the adventure, but we would have figured it out.
Oh, yeah, we would figure it out.
He was trying to impress me,
I was.
is the vibe I'm getting, and I had no idea that any of this happened until
I told you the story.
yeah, until you told me the story. I don't think it was that same day, but yes, Chicago is near and dear to your heart. I love the city. And
Yeah.
I love that I've had the opportunity to explore it more with you and we'll
Yeah.
explore it more over the years,
For
but
sure.
you left you left Chicago and now you're in California.
Oh man, quite the step. Wasn't nervous doing it. I just wanted to embrace the adventure. I had a huge level of comfort that I was doing it with you. So it's me and my brother, the first to like leave the nest and like actually leave the state. So he's doing his thing as a musician on a cruise line, doing his thing, killing it, by the way. And I fell in love, wanted to chase a life with you out there. I'm having a blast, learning a lot out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making me a little teary-eyed as he is saying this, but
Oh, where's the tissue when you need one?
it's been a year, and that is a
Yeah.
perfect transition to what are 3 to 5 lessons
Hmm.
you've learned since you left Aurora and you came to California about yourself. And I know there's been a lot of hurdles, ups and downs, but through it, we gain perspective. So, are there a few things that you're grateful to know now?
Yeah, definitely more than a few, but I'll say some. Just learning persistence, I would say, is one. Coming out here, taking on some 9 to 5 jobs. Unfortunately, some of them didn't work out through layoffs. And when you get laid off from a job, it's a blow to your confidence for sure. But I'm fortunate enough to have you help, pick me back up and lead me to the next lesson I learned, perspective. Just learning different angles of how to see things. Okay, this one didn't work out. Can't dwell on it. Yeah, it sucks. I know, but got to keep going. Tomorrow's another day. The sun is going to come up tomorrow. The world is still turning.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. So those are two things: persistence, perspective, patience.
Which I think you're better at than me anyway. So I do like to hear that as one of your lessons you've learned.
I feel like I'm a patient person, but there's different levels to patience for sure. Like you can be patient with yourself, patient with someone that you know, with the outside world. I feel like coming over here, it was my first time living with a partner.
Yeah.
So just having patience in that area because both of us, we've lived on our own. We've
Yeah.
done life the way we want to.
Yeah.
So sharing a space, it's a huge hurdle, but so worth it once you overcome it.
Yeah. I can
So
agree.
yeah, so coexisting, living with a partner, and just again, perspective, embracing different ways of living in an
Yeah.
apartment, being closer to your family, because we started long distance, so we never had that. I'm gonna visit your family, or vice versa, if we lived in Illinois.
Yeah, we weren't in the same city where our families were there too and had
Yeah,
that dynamic and those like norms that couples who live in the same place have or where their family is near. So it definitely was really learning as we went.
yeah, just to live with each other and be patient with the other person, and knowing that the other person has what's the word I'm looking for?
Ways that they like to do
Yeah, just
things.
ways that they like to do things, and just giving that way a chance,
Yeah.
overcoming your stubborn, which we both are. So yeah,
I
patience, perspective, and persistence.
yeah, I think all those things are spot on and
Hmm.
living with someone, especially when you've lived alone for many years, I like to think of it as sometimes a rude awakening. You have to
Growing
really
pains, growing
growing
pains.
pains
Yeah,
and compromise and
yeah.
it's not about you anymore is how I like to think of it. There was a time when I had my own space and I could do whatever I want. I could decorate it exactly how I want. But now that it's me and you, as much as I want to decorate it however I want still, I try to keep in mind that you live here too, and I want this place to feel like a home for us, not a home for me
Hmm.
or a home just for you. And we've had to like mesh our routines, and that
Yeah.
was growing pains of you like to do things a certain way, I like to do things a certain way. Okay, like we need to figure out what's important to
And
us and
yeah,
where to give,
us. It's
you
about
know.
us. You're so right. It's not just you anymore. Like one example I can think of is how we like to wake up in the morning.
Oh Lord, I'll never hear the end of this one. I will
I'm
never.
serious. No, for real. Like I like to wake up to a nice quiet room, just hearing the ceiling fan, calm, and you wake up from the moment your eyes open, you're at 100. I'm not saying this in a bad way. It took some getting used to in the best way. You like to start your day on a positive note.
You also miss my moments to myself where I'm like quiet. I've been trying this thing recently where I try to
Hmm.
spend 5 minutes after I like consciously am awake to just lay in bed, B, don't get on my phone, like think about the day, think about what I'm grateful for, just from things I've read. So by the time you come back from the gym, yeah, I'm 100 because I'm excited. I get only a limited amount of time in the morning with you, but it's from all my manifesting journey and self work. I like to wake up and be excited about the day, even though I hate waking up so early.
I mean, I admire that. But yeah, you are right. I do get up. I have my moment because I get up early. Like the sun isn't even up yet. I have my quiet moment to myself, head to the gym. And when I come back, you are at full throttle. And
But
you're
I am a chatty Cathy in the morning, and Marco's the exact opposite. He's like, if he could not talk for hours, that would be your like preference.
which is funny because I'm a very social person.
I know, I know. So it's yeah, but that's why we balance each other out.
I'd say so.
Well, speaking of being social,
Hmm.
I know that about you. Let's go back in time.
Hmm.
Take us back to teenage Marco.
Oh
He's
boy,
13. He's just discovered his love for DJing and he's following that curiosity.
definitely.
And tell us how you got into DJing and why you love it so much.
Oh man. Teenage Marco. It's funny. You were saying you just discovered. I'm like, don't say internet. Don't say internet. Like your parents are gonna listen to this. Um
Mine in the gutter, always.
so DJing, yeah, I started as a teenager. Why I love it so much is it's a way of expressing myself in many different ways through sounds, painting pictures through sounds, borrowing lyrics, instrumentals, combining them to make something completely brand new. It keeps you open to many different lanes of music. For example, you hear a song with a specific quote of a lyric that comes from a movie. Now you're into that movie. You hear the instrumentals. You hear how they blend and mesh well together. This song gives off this vibe. Okay, let's see if I can find something else. If not, let's experiment. Something completely out of left field. Okay, let's follow this. That excites me to take something apart, a track, a song, and put it back together with different pieces of another song to make something so dope.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is a true art form. And you started before there was all this technology now that you
Yeah.
don't even have to know how to actually like do those things,
Uh-huh.
like the technical skills. So I think it's really cool that you have those technical skills and that as DJing and technology and music has evolved, you've also evolved with it. And it is a like outlet for you and passion because your family is so musical. Like
They are.
everyone plays an instrument. A lot of people sing. Marco sings too. It's just everyone's very
Yeah.
talented when it comes to
I feel like it started with me and my siblings with our love for jazz music.
yeah.
Like that's what my brother studied, jazz performance. So yeah, in high school, obviously band, even before high school, middle school and elementary, choir. On my dad's side of the family in Mexico, yeah, so many of my cousins are mariachis. They love to sing, and every get together, we try to get a mariachi band, and we can't help ourselves. We just get into it, and we just sing and wail with the band. Before you know it, it's the whole room, and we're all. It's something about mariachi music, especially in the Latin Mexican culture, it just hits and hits hard in all the right ways.
Yeah. I really like experiencing that through your family's eyes too.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you
here
got to
for
see it.
it. I'm not a singer like the rest of the fam, but I can dance
She can cut a rug.
and I can bring the good vibes.
Yeah.
Well, I know that your mom bought you your first controller.
Yeah. So I started when controllers were barely in its early stages. So it was a controller, but it wasn't. So I had what was called like a CDJ, two separate CDJs, which is like a record on a turntable. But instead, you can put a CD into that CDJ and it'll act the same as a turntable to a record. Yeah, my mom bought me my first with those two, and then a mixer in between, which controls the volume, the treble, bass, and mid. If I'm throwing out technical terms and you guys don't understand, uh, I'm sorry.
This is welcome to a day in my life. I'm like, can you explain that in regular people speak? Because some of us didn't grow up learning all these technical terms, but love to hear it. So lots of technical things. And yeah, these were the days when CDs were still a thing.
Yeah.
Your mom surprised you?
Yeah, she surprised me for Christmas. So backtracking, how I got into it was through my god brother. Great guy. Shout out to him. So back in my hometown, Aurora, they did this thing. They call it First Fridays. They do it everywhere. It's pretty much just a huge block party. They close off a road. Small businesses come out and advertise themselves. Cool thing about it is there's lots of creative outlets that also come and showcase themselves. Taggers tag a huge white wall. Breakdancers come out, show off their skills. Rappers that come out, poets and DJs. They come out and put on a show too with music. So that's where my godbrother came in. He DJ'd this First Friday one day. My family was out there, and I was just fascinated. He was putting on music for the breakdancers. After that finished, dance floor cleared, and he just put on a show. I mean, brought the house down. So people were dancing. They were just reacting to all the tracks he was playing, his transitions, his creativity. When he got on the mic and he was emceeing, the crowd reacted to him and he reacted to the crowd. I just was watching all of that, and immediately, yes, that I want to try that. Wasted no time in letting my mom know. I just wanted her to know that this wasn't a thing where you're just going to get a brand new toy, play with it for a little bit, put it down, and move on to the next.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually saving money from birthdays, trying to read on a lot of mixers, CDJs, turntables. And now, fast forward during that time to December around Christmas, my mom surprised me and got me my first DJ set. And I was so speechless. Really so sweet. I also just excited. Just locked myself in my room, plugged it in. I didn't want to read the instructions. I was just so eager to just get started. But after messing with it and not knowing how it worked, all right, let me look at the instructions. But after that, just goodbye. I was MIA in my room practicing hours on end.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. And then I DJ'd my first party after that, backyard party. A best friend of mine, she had a backyard party. Of course, word got around that I started DJing, and man, was I nervous that
I'm
when
sure.
she asked me, "Would you want to DJ your
Yeah, you're
party?"
like, I've been DJing in my room for party of one,
Yeah,
maybe two with or a few people from the family. I can
exactly.
only imagine being nervous, especially teenagers. They're,
Oh yeah.
I mean, do we need to go on more?
No,
Like they're I mean
teenagers are
the thing
picky.
we've all been a teenage yeah, they just as a teenager we don't know everything, but we think we know everything in some
Yeah.
senses. So I can imagine that could be daunting, but
Hmm.
I think that that's really cool that you have been doing it for that long and
Oh yeah, the day of too. Beyond nervous but excited. My god brother is so cool, so dope. He told me, "I'll go with you. You can use some of my equipment," because I just had the two CDJs and the mixer, and but he had the speakers.
yeah, you would like the easy bake oven version.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, he said, "I'll go with you. I'll be on standby. You get nervous, just give me the look. I'll jump in." So we went. He met me there at my friend's house. He was so supportive. When the moment finally came, I got all set up. People were showing up. He's like, "All right, push play and just go."
Yeah.
And I wish you could have seen me, like my finger just shaking before I pushed the play button.
Yeah.
But after a bit, I just, just do it. Have fun.
Yeah.
You're not gonna know how good you are until you just do it.
Yeah.
So I played all the old school now, but at the time, just brand new, like Young Jock, Nelly, all the Southern hip hop rap, Lil Jon type music.
Little John.
Pitbull was just coming
Oh,
out.
Pitbull. Those
Yeah.
are the days. It's taking me back to memory lane on that type of music, and that's when people were just grinding and listening to those songs, and it was
We had
the
no business dancing like that, man.
low. I'm like, what was going on?
I don't know.
And
And we thought we were all that. We thought like, all right, we
we
have the
were all that.
okay.
I've been all that.
Your confidence, another reason why I fell for you.
I'm like, don't bring me down to this.
Yeah, even then, as soon as I just started having fun and reacting to the crowd, I just hear reactions, people getting vocal with every song that I played, just oh no way, and just losing their minds. And I fed off that energy, and vice versa.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember when I would go to the club sometimes to go out dancing and the DJ would play that song and I'd be like, stop.
Oh my god.
Let me put my drink down. There would be songs I'm like, I'm gonna put my drink down and I gotta have two hands to dance right now. I
Yeah.
gotta like move my whole body around. Or yeah, I think it's a powerful thing being a DJ and it's cool that you got to bring in a way happiness to people. I
Oh
would,
yeah.
you know,
I love reactions.
yeah.
You know, it's great from like the head turns to the head nods and bobs.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
learn. Well, I kind of knew this in the background, but I learned this for sure when I started dating Marco, and he would tell me about how he has like done so many different gigs, weddings, everything under the sun, and how he's like, yeah, it's annoying when people make requests sometimes, like incessantly. And in my head, I was like,
That was you.
it's definitely been me more than once at a. But I get, I don't know. I'm hearing music. I have an idea in my head of a song I want to dance to, and I just make the request. They could say no, but I can make the
Can we
request.
though? Can we?
Yeah,
Because people have
I've had
reactions
DJs
when
tell
we
me
say
before, like,
no.
yeah, I'll put that song on, and then it's 45 minutes later, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna
Well,
leave soon. Like, is the song gonna go on?
yeah. So having to deal with that, like, I have no issues with requests. What irks me is when I get a bunch of requests and then there's a vibe. Have to read the room. I'm not playing music just for this one person. I'll play your request. I have no problem doing that. But 5 minutes go by and they come back and tap me on the shoulder. Yo, where's my song? It's coming. Relax.
Yeah,
Relax,
there
man.
is an art form to it. I just know that if I'm making the request, it's gonna be a jam, and people are gonna be happy.
Trust me, you and everybody. Like I know what people want. This is what they want.
Well, I love that you have this talent and that you've been working on your DJ skills for
Ever.
ever now.
Yeah.
But I think that it's really cool for you to share your story, and I'm sure everyone can hear the passion behind it and just how much things have evolved too, like there's gigs, but there's so many ways nowadays for you to share your DJ skills, like people doing videos on social, just them in their room playing music.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think it's cool that you're sharing sounds with the world.
Thank you.
And we have could go on
Oh
forever
yeah.
about music because that is something that we bonded on when we first started dating very early on. It was that and movies. And I loved that because I had dated other people where I could talk to them about movies and film, but
Uh-huh.
it was on another level with you. Like
Oh yeah.
how easy it was to just talk about things, and there was a genuine interest for both of us in what the other person was sharing. So
Yeah.
we're gonna geek out for a bit on movies.
A bit. If it's movies, it's not gonna be a bit. Here we go.
We're gonna geek out, and I want you to tell us what movies you're looking forward to in the near future and why, so that you can get the listeners excited of what's coming down the pipeline.
Definitely. Okay. All right, I like this. Well, there's one movie.
And you can talk about Kang.
Oh yeah, you already know I'm gonna take it to Marvel because I'm a huge comic book nerd, geek. So Marvel, yeah, let's start there. Okay.
Let's just
So
rip the band-aid off.
yeah. So to give my opinion first about the whole Kang Dynasty, how Marvel was gonna take it there, I am disappointed that it's not gonna go there anymore. I'm not gonna get into why. You have the internet, Google it, and also it's not my place to really talk about it. With Jonathan Majors, he played the part of Kang the Conqueror beautifully.
Wait for 1 second, please. Okay, for those of you who will Google it or won't Google it, a quick synopsis of the
Okay,
situation. Jonathan Majors, who was the king
the
character,
Conqueror.
King the Conqueror,
Yeah, right.
he was involved in a domestic dispute and was found guilty. And because of that and the way that everything went down, the movies have now been pulled, and it's unfortunate for everyone. The woman that was involved in the domestic dispute with him, the fans. We're just in a different time nowadays. Me Too movement, time's up, and I think that
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that he has to be made an example of, but such a slippery slope, which is why we're not lawyers here and we don't want to get,
Don't claim no. No legal advice here.
and we're not experts, but
Not at all.
that is the TLDR on the situation. And the movies aren't happening anymore. But
Which, yeah, like I said,
he'll bounce back and hopefully
oh
he'll
yeah,
learn from
I
this.
believe in second chances. So
Yeah, he will learn from this.
yes,
But just be a
um,
good person.
just be a good person at the end of the day. Definitely a good way to transition back to the movies. I'm interested in where Marvel is going. So the first movie, Avengers Doomsday, was announced. Which, if you haven't seen, talking a little bit about that, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. He's going to play Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom. I'm interested, intrigued how he's going to do it. The obvious thing that's being filled in the comment section is he was Iron Man. How could he come back as Doctor Doom?
The multiverse.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. So there's a comic book where Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark actually switch bodies, and Tony Stark, who's now in Victor Von Doom's body, becomes Doctor Doom and does it better than the original Doctor Doom. So I'm thinking they're gonna take it in that direction. Excited for that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was so sad when Iron Man died in Endgame.
Hmm.
I actually teared up in the theater and cried a little bit because it was such an emotional scene. And I thought to myself, that's it? He's done? Fast forward a few years later, the world has truly changed. And now
JK,
he has
JK.
been resurrected, and I'm here for it.
Me too. Yeah, no, he's back. Yeah, how they announced it, it was great. And then the first words out of his mouth were "new mask, same task." That
Yes.
was dope.
Okay. Can't wait.
So that one, also Fantastic Four from Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that one.
Which I know we talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
John Krasinski, why they did that to us. They teased him in the Doctor Strange movie.
The multiverse one. Yeah.
So I was really excited because I love John Krasinski. Marco knows that. I love him.
Oh yeah.
And but on a good note as well, it'll be
Pedro Pascal.
so
Love both actors. My preference, I would have preferred John Krasinski, hands down. He would have been a great Mr. Fantastic, but also fan of Pedro Pascal. I know he's going to knock it out of the park. He's a great actor. Let's see what you got, man.
I'm hoping that somehow he'll still find his way in. John Krasinski, like
Yeah,
in a multiverse movie, like in the future at some point.
it's a
Because they
possibility
don't always it's not always the same person. Like look at Spider-Man.
with the three
There's
Spider-Man. Yeah,
yeah, so
Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire.
that's my goal.
Yeah, if that happens, I'm gonna go watch the movie. If they bring back John Krasinski, definitely front row. Let's see, next movie, Blade. Oh man,
Yes.
I at this point I just hope the movie gets made. It's gone through so many hurdles, directors, writers. So Mahershala Ali has been cast as the new Blade. He's a great actor. I know he's gonna knock it out of the park. One thing I really want as a fan from the Wesley Snipes movies, Blade, is the techno music. The
Mm,
techno is huge. Oh man, the head banging, heavy bass mixed with vampires.
that's Marco's dream right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it
At this
PG
point,
13
because it
here.
keeps getting postponed.
I'm excited for that one too. I honestly I can't tell you if I've watched the Blade movie fully through ever.
Well, we're gonna fix that.
So I have to do that. I hope they make it too. I know that been some back and forth on it. And then in the Deadpool Wolverine movie, Wesley Snipes said there will only be one Blade.
Yeah.
So
Spoiler if you haven't
I
seen it.
thought to myself, is he pro this movie or is he not for this movie?
I don't know. I read that they brought Wesley Snipes into the Deadpool Wolverine movie to show everyone that Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds are friends because from the Blade Trinity, the original that Wesley Snipes was in, there were rumblings, talks that he did not get along with Ryan Reynolds. Because if you don't know, Ryan Reynolds was in the third Blade movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played Hannibal King.
Oh,
So yeah, they brought him back, and there's a line in the movie where Blade tells Deadpool, "I don't like you," and Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, responds, "You never did," kind of like hinting at the movie.
Eek. What is this
But it was a
drama?
joke. It was a joke. I took it as a joke anyway.
Yeah,
I
hopefully it was
took
a
it as a
joke.
joke. But yeah, so let's see. There was so from Blade. There's a movie that already came out, which I put on because you know my favorite actor is in it, Tom Hardy, called Bike Riders. I love that movie. So if you haven't seen it, it's on Peacock. If you have that, watch it. You won't be disappointed.
Austin Butler's in it too.
Who? No, I know.
But yes, Tom Hardy. Marco's a day one fan. Watched all your movies.
Oh, yeah.
Loves you so much. Really admires you. If you ever listen to this,
Oh, please,
I mean, it would
please
make
hit
his
me up.
life if you just reached out to him and he could geek out with you about a lot of different things.
Like, let's just sit, have a cup of. I just want to pick your brain, man. You're awesome. So those are the movies right now that I can think of that I'm excited for. Yeah, to geek out and to end on Bike Riders because the movie was great, great dialogue, great acting, not just from Tom Hardy, the whole cast. I just love him so much.
Yeah, and it's what time is it set? And like, is it set in current
The
time?
1970s
Okay.
Chicago. Another reason why I love it, Chicago.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I watched part of it as I was doing stuff for the podcast, so I was kind of like half watching it, but from what I watched, it was good. A little bit of drama, a little bit of gang violence, but good. But
Good
good.
stuff.
It draws you in, it pulls you in, and
Beautifully executed.
it's yeah, I do love a Tom Hardy movie as well. Okay, lots of movies. I'm very excited about all of them. And Deadpool Wolverine, I spoke about a little bit. We watched it twice now. So tell the listeners why they should go watch this movie.
Deadpool and Wolverine. It is every comic book nerd's dream. Man, you will not leave that theater disappointed, guaranteed. It's everything the past hero genre movies you hoped would happen but didn't happen. Every box is checked.
Yeah.
Music, humor, references from the comic books, and then some. I left both times that we went to go see it so jacked, so
Yeah.
happy.
And there were things that you saw the second time watching it that you missed the first time because
Oh
there's
yeah.
so much happening in the movie that it's one of those movies you could watch it over and over again and probably see new things. So I really enjoyed it. I've never been a huge Deadpool fan because I was turned off immediately by the all of the like violence.
And
But
then you met me.
but then I met Marco and I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance. We watched the first one, the second one. My brother and my dad also like had watched the movies, so I knew of them and watched parts of it. But
Yeah.
this one was really good. The music is awesome, and if you were a Gossip Girl fan and appreciate or love Blake Lively, you will appreciate this movie because I know that she helped and had a hand in some of the music suggestions based on interviews I've listened to from Ryan Reynolds talking about the movie. So check it out if you haven't watched it. It's still in theaters right now. So
Oh, I think it'll be for a while. And also, great thing, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, they both of their movies did fantastic.
oh, I really want to watch the movie that she's in.
Yeah.
It ends with us.
It ends with us. Yep,
It's
that
supposed to
one.
be really good.
So I saw that there was an article written that both Blake Lively's movie and Ryan Reynolds did fantastic. So they're like a power couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, more than just their success, but yeah.
Good for them. Well, speaking of creative things, movies, TV, you have been tapping into your creativity for many years now. And I have learned a lot from you. And I know that you have routines
Hmm.
and ways that you spark your creative inspiration when you're feeling like you're lacking a little bit of creative inspiration. So,
It happens.
are there some tips that you can share with us for anyone that might be looking to tap into their creativity a bit?
Yeah. I mean, tapping into your creativity, if you're a creative and you run into a wall, which it's going to happen, there's no blueprint or right way to do it. There's no magic pill or anything like that that'll get you creative. You have to find what works for you. Like an actor who embodies a character, research to get creative. So things like that. Find what works for you. What works for me to get me in a creative mood. Like every morning I go work out. It helps relieve the tension, get my mind focused and the blood pumping. I also have playlists of movies, like on YouTube, music playlists on Apple Music. So I listen to Mos Def. I listen to Q-Tip, Beastie Boys, Queen Latifah, things that are really articulate, abstract, lyrical, really help me zone in. So that's what works for me. I do a lot of reading, a lot of journaling. That, in no particular order, that's what works for me. So I would say get excited for the journey and on discovering what works for you because it
Okay.
is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. And I guess in part of that and doing that, stay curious and think about things that you're genuinely interested in already and see
yeah,
if that sparks more of your creative mind, maybe.
for sure. Yeah.
Dark Knight, that trilogy is near and dear to Marco's heart, and he also watches that for inspiration.
Oh yeah, I love Batman. So Batman, I loved him before he was cool to the world. Like I read the comic books and watched all the movies when back to Michael Keaton playing Batman. Even going further back, Adam West when he played Batman. Yeah, Dark Knight. My movie playlist to keep me creative would be the Dark Knight trilogy, the Matrix trilogy, that one because I that challenges for me anyway. That challenges me to think outside the box and not follow the norms of the outside world. That's what I left with that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
definitely.
I definitely took the red pill.
Yeah. I think even as I get older, watching some of those movies, especially The Matrix, I think to myself, don't just follow the status quo
Mhm.
and accept that life happens to you and you have no control over your own mind.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
you have more control than you think you do. It can be easier said than done to take control and not feel defeated from what's happened to you, from corporations running things, but we still have a lot of control and we got to remember that as people.
Yeah,
They
that
would be nowhere without us.
exactly. We do have all the power. There's a quote from The Matrix, the first one, where Lawrence Fishburne, his character Morpheus, asks Neo, Keanu Reeves, "Do you believe in fate?" Which he replies, "No. Why not? Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my own life."
Interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, but you can control your own fate.
Exactly. That's his point.
Yeah. Ooh, look at me. Look at me. I took the red pill too, and I am handing out the pills. Okay.
One
I'm
for each.
actually so
Look at you. She's so excited. If you guys could see her face, she's so excited right
I'm
now.
just
She had an aha moment.
I'm just excited because I think that I've done a lot of personal work on myself and I try to remember this every day when I wake up, even when I feel like work's happening and there's things that are way out of my control and I'm feeling like I'm having a chaotic day because all of the things that I can't control,
Hmm.
but to still know in my core, like we can control things. We got to remember that. It's liberating when you realize that and you can like, really start living that.
Yeah, just constantly remind yourself you are in control. Of course, there are things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
To that, I say, if you can't control it, don't worry about it. It's easier said than done, of course. But yeah, just come to that realization you're in control and keep reminding yourself.
Okay. Well, we're on a roll here. So,
Keep it going.
are there specific movies that have shaped you? And I know that you've already spoken to a few of those.
Hmm.
So, what other movies have really made an impact on you? And you can narrow it down to three
Oh,
or
only three.
five if you want.
Okay. Movies that shaped me. So I, with my family, grew up on like a lot of mafia type movies. So definitely the Godfather trilogy. Because of the dialogue and just the plot, I loved it. From transition to different scenes to the depth of the characters, everything was beautifully done. So love that trilogy. I would say Heat with Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. Not only are they great actors, just love how in depth and thorough that movie is. You know, from one side, Robert De Niro playing a heist man to Al Pacino playing the cop trying to catch the heist man, and they're both obsessed with their trade that they plan it out down to the smallest detail. So love that. Another movie, I would say The Big Short with Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Reynolds, not Reynolds, sorry, Ryan Gosling.
How dare
Um,
you? I'm
forgive
kidding.
me, forgive me. Which, by the way, the Ryans never disappoint.
No.
They never disappoint. Ryan Gosling and Barbie, Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, and so on. So that's another movie I like to watch a lot for inspiration. Julie and Julia,
Yes, I love that one.
Meryl Streep, enough said.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you for that for sure. I enjoy watching it because it's just so happy. Meryl Streep is phenomenal, and her playing Julia, she's just so happy with the simple things in life, but she's also chasing her dream. She is in a male-dominated trade. She's going to culinary school. A lot of people don't believe in her, but she has an awesome partner, Stanley Tucci. His character, I forget his name.
I forgot his name too, but I love him.
Yeah, he believes in her, so supportive. Through all of that, she just persists forward. Oh man, I could go all day. I'll name one more. A TV show this time, Seinfeld. I
Okay.
love Seinfeld. So good. It's a show that's about nothing, but it's so funny. Like off the top of my head, from one episode, like Kramer's trying to get information from Jerry Seinfeld, but Seinfeld's not saying it. He's like, I'm begging you. And his response was, just because you say beg doesn't mean you're begging. You got to put some beg into it,
Oh my
which I
gosh. It's
think is
very Kramer.
so funny.
I like that show too. I've watched very few episodes and it's been with you and my dad. So
Mhm.
I can't relate to it on the level that you can, but it is funny. I do like it.
It's hilarious. So, yeah.
It grows on you too. I think it's been helpful to watch it with you,
Oh.
and your infectious and love for it has rubbed off on me even more.
Yeah. Obviously, I could name more, but yeah,
We'd be here forever,
we
folks,
would.
and this isn't the last time he'll be on the mic.
It isn't awesome.
So we talked a bit about family. We
Mhm.
both have a huge family, and that is something that we bonded on and have bonded on because we both were looking for that, in my opinion, in a partner, someone that loved family, valued family, and could value like each other's family. So
Mhm.
I am grateful that we both get along with each other's family,
It was
and
so easy to get along with your family.
same for me.
Yeah.
Everyone's so welcoming and so nice. So I would love to hear from your perspective.
Uh-huh.
What are 3 lessons that you learned from your family
Mhm.
that you still carry with you today and that you've carried into your relationships? Like,
Um, from my family, yeah, definitely. Family was huge for both of us. So that's another thing on top of so many that I love about you. So you're close with your family, you love family, and you love hard. But lessons, I'm gonna say patience to start off. Got that from my mama. Just be patient with everybody. You know, everybody's going through something. You probably read that on the internet more times than you can count, but it's true. You know, you're driving on the freeway, someone cuts you off. Yeah, everyone's human. The first response is going to be to, what's this guy doing? But you don't know that person. Don't get offended. Don't get angry. Again, easier said than done, but be patient. Another thing my parents taught me, just watching them, but also they said this to me, is when you're in a relationship, compromise.
yeah, I
Big
hear your
time.
mom say that.
Compromise. They both compromise for each other. So it's not, like we said earlier, it's not about you anymore. You just have to really compromise, pick your battles, you know.
Yeah.
With picking your battles leads me to the other, which is let the small things go. My entire family taught me that. Let the small things go. If it's not going to matter in 2 hours, don't bother worrying about it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, if you worry about it and you can't control it and it's not going to matter later on, you're shooting yourself twice in the foot, you know.
Okay.
So those three, I would say, I learned from my family.
Yeah, I love that. Something that I learned from you
Okay.
that you learned from your parents
Hmm.
was, and this was early on in us dating and getting to know each other,
Hmm.
was that you would never stop dating me.
Yes, definitely. And I mean that now. So yeah,
He's in the hot seat, everybody.
don't stop dating. That I see my parents do that all the time. My dad takes my mom all the time out to eat, and every time they're together, it's I swear it's like they're back to their early dating years. They
Yeah.
just rub off on each other so well. When we had game nights at my uncle's house, and we would all get together, my parents would always be partners, and they were that couple where they're laughing at each other's inside jokes. No one knows what they're talking about, but they are cackling, laughing so hard at each other, just having their own little party, just them two.
Yeah.
So that right there, there's moments where life happens and they have their 9 to 5s, they have their kids, they have their bills, responsibilities on top of responsibilities, but they always make time to date each other and tell each other, I love you. Like they never hang up the phone without saying, I love you if they're on the phone with each other. When I was a kid, even now when we go visit them, my dad would get home from work. First thing, always go for my mom, give her a big kiss.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. How many years have they been married? Do you
Oh,
know?
20 plus.
Like 25 at least, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think 25.
23, 25. They didn't have like a big wedding. They just went down to the courthouse and got married.
Yeah.
But man, I swear the smiles on their faces, it's like they had the best wedding ever. And I know it's because they were getting married to each other.
I'm quiet because I'm he's getting me all emotional. No, it's nice to see the love your parents have. It's I didn't grow up with parents that were always married. Like my mom was a single mom for a while, and she got remarried when I was a teenager.
Hmm.
So I did see that have that dynamic, but your parents, seeing your parents and having that in my life now, it's really nice too.
Yeah,
Yeah, their love is beautiful. So, I love your family.
they love you too.
We could talk about you for days.
Let's.
I do admire, or I feel like this interview episode is boosting his ego, and I don't know if we need that,
Oh,
but
please. It was already boosted. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
well, something I admire about you is that you don't have to be the loudest in the room. You can be in a room and be perfectly content, talking, not talking,
Mhm.
letting other people,
Do all the talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you'll chime in when you have something to say. And I wanted to know if there's any advice that you can give to people who might be struggling with being their authentic selves, because
Hmm.
you've had an experience in the past year of moving from your comfort zone to somewhere new
Yeah.
and being in new environments and having to still like be yourself but be around different types of people. So,
Hmm.
is there any advice you could
Uh,
give?
well, yeah, I don't feel like I have to be the loudest in the room at all. Really like to listen and get to know people's stories, but I know that about myself. I'll say a piece of advice that I got from my best friend, known him since fourth grade. This was a point in my life where I was struggling to find a sense of direction. Him and I were texting, and he gave me some tough love, which pretty much, excuse the language, fuck it all. Just if you're just being influenced and by so many things and just struggling to find who you are, I should go to school to be this because that's what everybody wants. But what do I want? I don't know what I want. But feeling the pressure of pleasing everybody else, whatever it is, just fuck it all. Do what's right for you. Do right by you. Do what you need to do to find you
Mm-hmm.
within reason, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go doing anything illegal
Yeah.
to find out you're a criminal. Uh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. At
Okay.
the end of the day, do right by you.
I like that. Short and simple. All right. All of the wisdom here today, folks. I hope you're really enjoying this episode. I sure am. And I would like to know what your top 3 favorite products or things are right now. It's going to be anything under the sun. I am going to ask you to narrow it down to 3.
Mm. Top three, my fanny pack to start off.
Yes, that tracks. Marco's been wearing his fanny pack all the time now, and I think it's cute.
Good. It's
I
not
like
going
it.
anywhere. Yeah, my fanny pack, because my pockets can only fill so much. Let's
Yeah, I
see.
don't understand why men put so many things in their pockets.
I think because back in the day, I would wear baggy pants at one point, and the pockets were just bottomless pits.
Truly.
So fanny pack for sure. That's definitely a game changer. I love to keep active, and I don't like relying on gym equipment. I love a good gym, of course, but I love my portable pull-up bar and my workout bands that I could just pack in my car and take anywhere. And when we travel, especially, just take my workout bands, get a quick workout in a hotel room, and then go about our adventure.
Okay.
So those two,
Love it. He's managed to sleep before the
yeah, crap, I didn't realize it. Last one, it's called You Relax. The letter U and then the word relax. So I don't like to drink a lot. I do enjoy a good cocktail, glass of wine for sure, but I don't drink a lot. So I discovered this You Relax product. It gives you that sense of a buzz with a relaxing feeling, but it's because it has like these plant-based relaxants. You have a stressful day, instead of reaching for that alcohol, you just drink this, and it gives you the same sense of calm and
Yeah,
relax.
I love that. And think Liquid IV, how it comes in a packet. This comes in individual packets. It comes with a little drink shaker thing. So you put it
Yeah.
in with water, shake it. It's very low effort for making it. So if you're interested in something like this, we will include a link in the show description.
Hmm.
Highly recommend trying it out. Okay,
For
love
sure.
that. 4 of your favorite products I know.
Yeah.
Tell the listeners where they can find you.
So I am on Instagram the most, and on there you can find my links to my SoundClouds and my music. You can find me at midnight_mind 80. It's spelled out MIDNITE_MIND and numbers 80. In my bio, I have a link to my SoundCloud where I have my Monday mini mixes. Pretty much at the start of the week, my goal with these mixes is to just give you that energy, like coffee for your ears, pretty
Ooh,
much
okay. Look at
get you
him.
up and running, motivated for the day. So
Coffee for your ears.
if you like it, give it a like, share. Find me on there. I do take requests. Feel free to email me on my Instagram any type of requests or themed. Challenge
Oh,
me.
I like that. Taking requests. We're gonna expand on this.
Okay, cool.
Highly recommend you check it out. He covers all types of genres and music, so it's not just for one person. And thank you so much for talking with us today.
Of course.
It's You've been trying to make your way onto the podcast from behind the scenes, and his dreams are
Oh,
coming true now,
so many
people.
times I hear you recording and I just want to bust the door open and just get in on the
Oh,
conversation.
I know. I'm like, honey, this is my thing. But I'm glad that we finally got to jump on the mic together,
Me
and
too.
I love you so much.
I love you too. I had a blast.
Me too. Well, until next week, happy September, everybody. We are days away, and Marco's birthday is around the corner. So
Yeah.
lots of Virgo birthdays.
Well, who's this first though?
Mine will have just passed.
Yeah. So excited for yours.
Thanks, honey.
To bring it back to you.
Yeah, no, it's just an ongoing birthday.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Music and editing done by Marco. You can find him at Midnite, MIDNITE_mind on Instagram for more of his work.